How you guys doing again? This is Stan Banks with T-Shirt Side Hustle, and I help people start t-shirt businesses from home or wherever you're at. And today, I'm going to be pressing up this two-color design using Caesar Easy Weed Electric right after the intro. Okay, so right now I'm in Illustrator and we're going to go ahead and knock out this design. I see it going one of two ways. I'm going to do one way, and if I think the other way might be better, I'm going to do the second way. I never really design things twice anymore. So I already kind of figured out what font I wanted to use. This is a girl's, like a collegiate shirt. So I didn't want to use like the regular, let me pull it up, like one of these regular fonts that kind of just like the regular, I guess, athletic style fonts. So I went with the sports. What's another one? There is athletic. Let's see if I can find it. Can't find the other one. That's Jersey. There's another one that I can't really find right now. Trying to just like give you guys some examples without making this video too long. So what I'm just gonna do is go ahead, and I wanted to go with this one. Is like more girly. All right, and the shirt is going to say DSU Diva. Okay, and as you guys know, what I like to do is I like to mix cursive fonts and bold fonts. All right, so right now I actually just used this font on another shirt, so that's why I kind of pasted it in here so I can remember what it was called. And it's called Friend Right, and I just got this off of thefont.com. And there's two ways that I see this going. Like I said, we're gonna make these letters real big, and they're gonna be in baby blue, and then these letters here are gonna be in red. So I'm gonna show you what I wanted to do with these, and it's just a simple overlapping of fonts that I normally do. All right, and then we're gonna center it. Ooh, not center it that way, center it this way. Okay, and I want to shrink it a little bit. All right, so the next thing that we need to do in order to show this, so I want to show my customer the straight design. I'm gonna make it in black. And so I'm going to give it a background here, and that'll be that. I'm going to lock this bottom layer here, and then what I need to do the separation is I am going to actually stroke this. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to create outlines, and then once you do that, you have it's no longer text, so it's no longer editable. So I always make a copy of it, so now I can work on this from here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a stroke, and I'm going to make this stroke black. Let me actually go to the stroke color, make it black, the background color, because the background of the shirt will show through. And under the stroke panel here, I'm going to outline outside so that it doesn't go inside. It won't change the thickness of these letters. So this is what we're looking at for one design. Now, in the past, I did another design that I really liked for HBCUs, and it was actually, oops, I can't use this one. See, it's not editable anymore. So I need to actually open this one up and hide this one, and I need to copy this and hide that away, and I'm gonna put it here. Cancel. What did I just do here? I don't know what I just did. Sometimes things happen. Okay, so now I need to paste this again. And what I want to actually do is just do the word, well, not the word, the letters va. So what I'm gonna end up doing is making this letter red right? So we're gonna change the font color on the D to red. Okay, so now we got this little look here, and I'm gonna stretch this and then make it work like such. Kind of like right there. And this one does not look as good, but watch what I do. I'm just gonna finish it out for you guys. I'm gonna create the outlines. I'm gonna merge them. I'm actually gonna create outlines of this as well. I'm just gonna show you what the look would actually look like. Ungroup. And I can show you an example of it working as well as it not working so much on this one. So if I stroke this again, stroke, make a black stroke, I'm gonna make it outside, and I'm gonna increase it a little bit. It kind of gives you that, it actually kind of does work a little bit. Not as well as my original one did, but it works just a hair. And I could probably go ahead, let me copy this. And I'm actually going to separate the eye from touching. So let me go, I'm just undoing this. And I'm going to separate the eye from touching. And I'm just going to stroke these in black, stroke outside. And I'm just going till it looks good. Could go like right there. No. See if it looks right if I slant it. Just playing around with design. Once you have some things that you normally do, you know, you just play around with it. And let's paste this one. So these are going to be the 3 options that she gets. And she can decide based off of this what she wants to do. And then we'll go from there. So I'm going to center everything. Oops. I'm actually going to group these. Oops. Group these. And we're going to center it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. These are really, really quick examples of the design that she can choose from and that I'll show her. And I actually need to merge these. There we go. So, yeah. All right. So hopefully in the next video, she'll approve one of these designs. I don't have to do any more work. And then we'll get to the actual creation of this as well. Okay, so we're back now, and the customer approved the very, very first design. I kind of really like this one after looking at it for a little while. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing ready to be pressed to a shirt. So what I like to do is create a new layer. And I'm going to take this, and I'm going to hold the Option key and drag this little box up just to copy it to that layer. And I'm going to cut this one off. The reason I do that is, like I said, I always like to work in layers, and we're going to operate it from there. So this is like a 12 by 12 workspace right here. So we're going to obviously, I'm going to maximize it, and I'm just going to play with it a little bit further, just so that I get it to the point that I like the way it actually feels. It feels right to me. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and create outlines of this, and then I'm gonna make sure it's perfectly centered. All right, so they're centered along each other. So all I did right there was I selected it, and up here you got your transform panel, and then this is a line center tool here, and it's also right here if you look at the align right here. All right, so this is what we're working with right now. All right. There's a few different ways to go about this. I'm going to show you what the basic way is, and that's just to save it as a JPEG. So I'm going to cut the background layer off. All right. I'm going to change the color of this stroke here to white. Okay. And now this is what we're going to see as far as everything goes. So I'm just going to save this here as a JPEG, and then we're going to see what happens. Sometimes if you work like light blues and light colors, it does not work the way that you kind of want it to sometimes. So you just change everything to black. But this should be fine. So I'm going to save this as DSU Diva. copy. Oh, I think I already saved it. Let's see. DSU Diva. All right, I just didn't save the actual file. I made the folder, but I didn't save the file. Okay. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is export it as JPEG. It could be a JPEG or a PNG. Doesn't matter. I'm going to use artboards and I'm going to export. I like to switch to RBG. All right. So now that we're done with that, we're going to open up Silhouette. All right. Now that we're waiting for, got this open, we're going to go ahead and go to Open. And then we're going to go ahead and go to Clients and to put in DSU Diva. And we're going to drag, or no, we can't drag because we're not using the folder. We're just going to click OK and open up the file. All right. Still got a grid. So this is what we're working with. So the first thing I need to do is to go to the trace panel. And that looks like these little cuddly braces right here. I'm going to select trace area. And I'm going to, you see how the light blue didn't take effect, which isn't an issue. So all you need to do is come over here to this threshold and drag up the threshold a little bit, and it'll do it. Sometimes it's really difficult depending on your artwork. So what you want to do at that point, if it gets really difficult, then you want to just make everything black on your file and resave it. All right. So we got this here. And we know that it needs to be in 2 colors. So I'm going to make this whole thing just light blue real quick. That light blue's ugly. They all are. All right. Just going to make it light blue real quick. And I'm going to copy it. All right. So boom. I'm going to make another copy and drag it off to the side. I just like to have copies of stuff. I always like to keep the original image in here so I know what it's supposed to look like. And there's a few ways to do this. I'm going to show you 2 ways real quick on how to do this. I'm going to give you a copy here. You can ungroup or release compound path. And what that does is it makes everything its own individual piece. And I don't like that because you can't, like, it gets difficult to color in. But basically what I would do from here is I would drag all of this. And that would be, I have to go back and grab this. This would be my word diva, and I would group that together, and then this would be my word, or my letters DSU. I don't like to do it that way. What I do takes a little bit longer, but to me it works better. So I just double clicked on a line, and it gives you the points, and then I just drag holding the shift key over everything that I want to delete, and then I just hold the delete key, and it'll delete that. I know I need to delete this. And if you just hold the delete key, it'll delete all of these pieces. All right, so now this is what we're looking at. See, now that's the DSU part. And now I just need to delete the DSU on this portion. And I like to do it, like get the big pieces that I can get with holding the shift key. And then once I'm done with those big pieces, just hold the delete key. And it'll just go ahead and delete for us. Now, again, I'm going to show you the reason that I do this is because now when I color it, it's very, very simple. I just pick the color. The diva part is supposed to be, we gotta delete this. The diva part is supposed to be red. I make it red, and you see how all the gaps and things like that. It's just my personal preference. It will save you a lot of headache, especially when you got multi-colors in a file. Take you a little longer, especially if you're going to use the file over and over again. But I could have just simply did this. Like I said, I could have took this here. I could have released the compound path. I could have selected all of this. and then I could have went ahead and made it all red. And now I lost the inside cut lines. I could go here and make that white. Inside cut line here, make that white. And I could, you know, basically use this file. But I like to use it the other way around. So that's just my personal preference. 2 ways to do it. So now everything's ready to go. All right. We're going to cut. I'm actually going to use electric, I believe. Got to check my files. Rather my inventory and see what I have. But I want to use electric, red, and blue. It'll look very, very good. It's going on a black sweatshirt, as I said. So this file is ready to go. Just going to cut one and cut the other. And I'm just going to use my standard cut settings. And if I go down here, electric cuts the same as regular easy weed. So easy weed is 3, 4, 6, speed 8. All right, so let's go back and get to work. Like I said, I want to use Easy Weed Electric because it'll make it shine different off the black. Even if you see right here in the shirt that I have on, if you look closely, it shines a little bit. I really like to use Easy Weed Electric because of that versus glitter. It is still rather easy to work with, but this has easily become one of my favorites. Glitter is kind of like the common thing to do, but not too many people use electric. So the very first thing that I need to do is cut this strip down. So in order to do that, I'm going to use my cutting mat here, and I'm just going to use that for my ruler because I don't have the little groove set up like I used to have set up. So I'm just going to roll it out, and we're going to cut along that 12-inch line, and we're going to cut straight down this as soon as we got it measured up. Just gonna get my favorite pair of scissors here, and I'm just gonna cut straight down this line here, and everything should be good to go. When you're cutting this, you want to be slightly over, not less, because now you can't maximize it, because you can always trim down to the actual mat size once you lay it on the mat. So the first thing that we're going to go ahead and cut is going to be our letters DSU. And do not forget to flip your design, because I was about to cut this and forget to flip it. So I flipped Diva. Now I'm going to flip DSU. This mat is getting kind of old, so I'm going to be looking for remedies to make it sticky again. Normally I buy new mats, but it's been a question that's been posed to me, so I'm going to do some research and see what we can figure out in order to make our mat sticky again. Make mat sticky again. Make that. All right. If you see here, it's a little bit over, right? And here's a little bit under, so I can correct that. And I'm just going to trim down. It won't get all the way down to the bottom, so I really don't have to worry about it. But you do want to make sure that you're not too far over the line when it comes to your cutting mat, because that's what is used to hold on to this cut mat on the rollers. And if you do, it'll throw it off because it'll kind of like slide because it's not sticky underneath of that part. So you want to trim it down, make sure you're right within the range of that grid. And then once you do that, it's time to go ahead, head over to the cutter, load it up, and get cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and move you guys over, and you guys can go ahead and watch it all go down. All right, so I went ahead and cut it out. I'm about to trim up my sheets. And then once I trim these up, just go into the scrap pile and go ahead and get to everybody's favorite part of t-shirt making, which is weeding. So I got my t-shirt size weeded right here. You guys can head over to the website. You can find it down in the description below when you're ready. And we're gonna get to weeding. Okay, so we got it all cut. we're gonna go ahead and separate the two designs. And then we're gonna lay it out and we'll see what it's supposed to look like for us. DSU here. And then the word Diva. So it's right inside of that. That shine right there that you guys see is gonna hold true on the shirt. And it's really gonna look good because it's gonna be going on a black shirt. So everything that's going, when the light hits it, this will shine a little bit. You'll still see the colors, and it's a nice little way to upsell. And again, if you want to know what I'm charged, make sure you stay tuned to the end, and we'll cover that at that point. So now let's get over to pressing. We got our large sweatshirt right here ready to be pressed up. We got our design, and we're going to go ahead and load it up. A lot of you guys want to know how you line up shirts, There are devices and tools out here that you guys can use. I'll link them down in the description. But for me, it's all about the hands and the eyes. So I'm going to walk you through my process like I do in most videos. But someone's going to need to watch this. So I just load everything upside down. Not everybody does that. The reason I do it is probably because I started out with screen printing, and in screen print, everything's loaded upside down anyway. That's what's best for me. I also heard something about when forgers forge signatures and stuff like that, it's better for them to look at it upside down. Why? Because they don't see the actual name, they just see the lines or something like that. Don't get me lying to you guys about that. I don't know how true that is, but if that's the case, it makes it very, very easy to see upside down for me. And I don't have to really work up under the back of the heat for the most part. All right, so we go ahead, we load it up. And all I'm gonna do is on both sides, I'm gonna feel for the seam, and I wanna make sure that the seam is the same on both sides. So feeling for the sleeve seam, pull it out, make sure it's folded, okay? And I'm gonna make sure that it feels the same where it ends at on both sides as well. Just measure with my hands along the sides on both sides. All right, then I'm gonna go ahead and pull my collar just off, and that feels good to me. So now I know my shirt is lined up straight. If your shirt is not lined up straight, it does not matter at all how straight you line up your design, because the shirt's crooked. So if it looks straight on the press, it's not gonna be straight. Concentrate on figuring out what method works for you when it comes to lining up the shirt on the machine. The design part, I think, to me, is rather easy. Now, this is a 2-color. All right, with Caesar, you can press for about 1 second, but I like to do like 3 seconds just to be safe, because sometimes if you don't have enough pressure or something like that, when you press, it will go ahead and start to lift up a little bit. So I like to do like a 3-second press, and then once I clear that 3-second press, I go ahead and I lay my next layer down, and then I'll finally cure the whole thing at once. So we're gonna go ahead and take our DSU, and we're gonna line it up about 4 fingers from the collar, and that'll be about 3.5 inches. It may not be 3.5 inches for you, but it's right where I need to be for myself. Again, I use my hands to measure everything, so you figure out where you need to be and figure out how you can do it. If I had to pull out a ruler every shirt, if I'm doing 1 shirt, no big deal. If I'm doing 5 or 15 or 20 or maybe even 100, you're gonna want to use your eye and not have to use a ruler every single time. But if you got to, you got to. Okay, that looks good. Just make sure I'm touching on both sides at the same point. Now it's rolling up on me, and we're just gonna go ahead and press it. Release it. All right, peel it up, nice and slow. All right, we got the DSU down. Now we gotta put the Diva down. And we're just gonna line that up right inside of here, making sure it looks good. Nice little release there. That looks good. Final cure. Now we got the final press. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more pressure to this. All right, a little bit more pressure to it just to make myself feeling comfortable with this. Auto open, you can hear the magnet. I want to hear the magnet, just that way I know it's pressure. That means the machine is working and good to go. So one opens up and we have our DSUD. You see how that red looks different? It shines different. The light blue doesn't shine as much as the red, but it definitely still has some shine. So I like to use this over glitter at this point. It's like a lot easier to work with, but sometimes you still got to use glitter depending on how you're feeling. And this is another upsell. So I got one more to press up. I'm going to speed through that for you guys. And when I get back, we're going to talk about pricing. All right, so I'm all finished, and as I was getting ready to finish up the last shirt, when I went ahead and started to get it ready, I actually got a phone call from her. She added another one, and then she wanted a whole nother shirt. So what I ended up doing was grabbing a medium sweatshirt that I needed for another order. I'll just reorder it so that she can come and pick these up. They are not going to pick up their stuff till next week, so I'm using their medium in her order. So now she's gotten 3 of them. Now let's talk about pricing of this bad boy. These are sweatshirts, so right off the bat, they're gonna start off at $10, and then the customization options would be. Let me digress. All right, so let's talk about pricing. When it came to pricing a sweatshirt, it's gonna start at $10. Okay, I did have to put this design together, so that's another $5. So we're starting at $15. A front customization of one side is $10. So now they're at $25. A second color will be another $5, which would be $30. And I did upgrade her to electric, which will make the sweatshirt come to $35. She got 3 of them. You multiply that by 3 and you come up with the price. So an actual cost of materials, you're looking at a $5 sweatshirt. You're looking at 1 sheet of Easy Weed electric blue, 1 sheet of Easy Weed electric red for all 3 of them. So that's gonna put you at somewhere near $11 my cost. So each one of these bad boys, I will profit 11 minus 35, which would be $24 each, and that'll put us right where we need to be. If you have any questions about prices, make sure you head over to tshirtsidehustle.com and pick up this book right here, the Heat Transfer Vinyl Pricing Guide. I'm telling you, it is a good read if you're unsure about pricing. Anytime you go into a negotiation and you feel unsure, the other person can feel that, and if they feel like that you're unsure, that means they can try to negotiate the pricing. So that'll give you a guide to be comfortable with the way you price. Question for today will be, how do you feel about Easy Weed Electric? Do you use it? Do you not use it? Do you prefer it over glitter like I do? So let me know what your favorite vinyl is outside of regular vinyl down in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you like it. Also, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because I make videos like this all the time, and I mean all the time. This has been your boy Stan Banks from T-Shirt Side Hustle. Peace.